Content warning. This series discusses sexual assault and the murder of a child. This episode contains descriptions of how a child's body was found. Listener discretion is strongly advised. If you or someone you know needs support, contact Lifeline on 131114 or 1-800-RESPECT on 1800 737 732 or your local crisis service. After an early evening walk to pick up takeaway dinner from a local fish and chip shop, a 13-year-old girl's last known evening casts a shadow across Melbourne's northern suburbs for decades. For nearly 48 years, one haunting question has lingered over Victoria. Who killed Denise McGregor? Part 1. Her disappearance. It's Monday, March 20, 1978. It's almost halfway through Term 1 and Melbourne is in a moment of change. The excitement of World Series cricket, the summer spectacle that has changed the game forever, has dissipated and the city itself feels in transition, the heat of summer giving way to the first hints of autumn. Pascoe Vale, about 9 kilometres north of the CBD, is settling into its evening rhythm. It's a working-class neighbourhood of modest homes, schools, milk bars and takeaway shops. Families live close together, with neighbours who know one another and children who walk freely between houses and shops. In the news, a dual heist and triple murder from Friday in Melbourne's CBD is in the back of everyone's minds. Debates over rising fuel costs and industrial strikes have been filling the papers. Families gather around television sets for shows like Countdown, which has recently moved to Sunday nights, and suburban life follows familiar routines. Milk bars on every corner, kids playing in the suburbs unsupervised, and parents believing their streets were safe. As the daylight fades, for the residents of 638 Bell Street, life is following its usual pattern. The weatherboard home houses Carmel McGregor, a registered nursing aide who works night shift, together with her 3 daughters, Colleen, aged 16, Denise, aged 13, and Sharon, aged 11. The family moved there the previous September after Carmel and her ex-husband Cedric separated some years earlier. Carmel is home with 2 of her 3 daughters, Denise and Sharon. They are a close-knit household, growing up in the shifting culture of late 1970s Melbourne. Dinner needs to be organised, and after a full day at school for the girls, Carmel suggests they head to the local fish and chip shop to buy some takeaway for the 3 of them. It's a short walk, about 15 minutes away, familiar and unremarkable. It's an ordinary errand, and given it's already after 6 p.m, the girls and Carmel settle on dim sims, Chico rolls and bottles of Coke for dinner. Carmel hands over a $5 note to Denise, and Sharon accompanies Denise on the 15-minute walk to the fish and chip shop. Carmel was not to know that, on an ordinary Monday night, running a simple errand, it would be the last time she would see Denise alive. With her stomach rumbling, Sharon was more than happy to agree to getting dinner. She was halfway through her last year of primary school at St Oliver's Primary School and, like her older sister, had quite a bit of independence. She was also generally responsible. Her mother Carmel worked the night shift at the repatriation hospital in Heidelberg, and the girls were left by themselves over Carmel's shifts, generally from around 10:30 p.m. to 7:30 a.m. the next day. That afternoon had been non-eventful. She had already arrived home when Denise came home from school. Dim sims, Chico rolls and a bottle of Coke was a nice, easy and quick dinner. The fish and chip shop is just up Bell Street, so it's not that far away. Colleen was out and wouldn't be home in time for dinner, so it was just the 3 of them. The girls gather themselves and head up to the shop. Upon arriving at the fish and chip shop, Denise orders the food, together with some chips. Whilst the food was cooking, the girls decide to head to the milk bar next door. Denise buys herself a Big M, which she drinks while waiting, and then they head back next door. It feels like a while waiting before they finally get their dinner. Denise pays and keeps the change, about $2 worth. It's getting darker and the weather is turning miserable, so it's time to head home. A local woman, Barbara, is not far from home, walking along Bell Street. It's almost 7 p.m, and wandering around her local neighbourhood, she spies two young girls standing on the eastern footpath at the intersection of Bell and Anderson Street. It looks like they have been to the fish and chip place just up the road, as one of the girls is carrying what can only be fish and chips. A few moments later, she notices the girls go their separate ways, with the younger girl walking west along Bell Street towards the freeway, and the older girl walking north in Anderson Street on the eastern footpath. The girls turn and call out to each other. Just another night in suburbia. Denise and Sharon reach the corner of Bell and Anderson Streets when Denise passes the food to Sharon. She says, "I'm going to go down and get the Coke now," from the milk bar in Anderson Street. Sharon, with the hot food parcels in her hands, says she's just going to go on home. Sharon has a thought about buying the Coke at a separate place to the milk bar in Bell Street, particularly given Denise has already ordered a Big M, but maybe she just didn't want to buy it up there. It is a fleeting, unremarkable decision that would replay forever. Carmel is waiting for the girls to have dinner. She hears the door open and only Sharon walks in. She checks the clock, 7:05 p.m, and wonders where Denise is. Sharon tells her that she was down at the Anderson Street milk bar getting the Coke, and they both assume that she won't be too much longer. Teenagers. Barbara sees the older girl keep walking in Anderson Street towards Westgate Street. She happens to notice the older girl, who is carrying little more than loose change and her own confidence, walk past a young male about 18 years of age. He's of slim build, with light brown collar-length hair, about 167 centimetres tall, and wearing blue jeans and a grey jumper, who is also walking up Anderson Street towards Westgate Street. They didn't communicate or anything. He keeps walking behind the girl and then stops and walks back towards Bell Street. Maybe he has forgotten something. Barbara had noticed a small dark brown car parked in Anderson Street near Bell Street, but doesn't pay too much attention. The weather is miserable. It's dark and raining, and she just wants to get home. Rhonda, a ballet student who attends the Shirlane School of Classical Ballet, is waiting out the front before her class starts at 7:15 p.m. It's raining, it's dark, and she has just under 15 minutes before class. As she is waiting, she sees a young female walking towards the intersection in Anderson Street from Bell Street, walking on the western side of the roadway on the footpath. She approaches the intersection and walks onto the road, when she stops about 2 metres onto the road. Rhonda notices her look to her left into Westgate Street, westwards, and then right into Westgate Street, eastwards. She looks behind her towards Bell Street and then turns to look across the road at Rhonda, staring for a few seconds, with a look of concern, as if something is wrong. Sharon is eating dinner with her mum, waiting for Denise to come back with her drink. She seems to be taking a longer time than you would expect, given the Anderson Street milk bar is only about 180 metres up the road. It should only take a handful of minutes, yet Sharon has been home for almost 15 minutes herself. What's keeping Denise? Rhonda watches the girl for a few more seconds and sees her turn around and take a number of steps back the way she has come, towards Bell Street. A male then rides up to the shop on a bicycle, and Rhonda asks him for a light for her cigarette before class. She makes her way into ballet class, but doesn't see the girl again. If this girl is Denise, it is the last official recorded sighting of her alive. Carmel is beginning to wonder what her still absent daughter can possibly be up to. Minutes pass and then more. 7:30 p.m. has come and gone and Denise still hasn't returned from the shop, so Carmel sends Sharon out to find out what is keeping her. Sharon has finished her dinner and Denise still isn't home. Carmel sends her youngest daughter up to the shop to see if she is there. Sharon dutifully heads up Anderson Street, looking around as she walks, and can't see Denise anywhere. The shop is still open, but Denise is nowhere to be found. Sharon heads home again. Carmel is still sitting at home with Denise's dinner getting cold, wondering where her middle daughter could be. As she ponders, Sharon walks in and announces that Denise was not at the shop, nor on the walk. Odd. Carmel gives Sharon 10 cents to go back to the shop in Anderson Street, buy a paper, and ask the shop owner if he has seen Denise. It's Monday night, it's dark, it's still raining, and she just wants the girls home for the evening. Sharon heads back up to Anderson Street with her 10 cents and grabs the paper for her mother. Whilst purchasing at the counter, she asks the shop owner if he has seen Denise, and he responds with, "No." She asks if he knows Denise and starts to describe her to him, and he responds with, "I know the girl you're talking about. I have not seen her." A brief interaction. A child, a counter, and rain outside. Nothing feels remarkable in the moment. Puzzled, Sharon returns home. Carmel hears Sharon come home and announce that the shop owner hasn't seen Denise. Annoyance and anger are now giving way to worry and concern. She pulls herself together and with Sharon goes to the car to start looking for Denise herself. Denise could be headstrong. She could be defiant with an I don't care attitude, and she was very determined. If she made up her mind to do something, Denise would more than likely do it. But it's dark, it's raining, and there's no trace of her. Carmel and Sharon drive around the streets of Pascoe Vale trying to find Denise, scanning any familiar locations. With each passing minute, the rain feels heavier, the headlights fuzzier, the night colder, and Carmel's worry transitions into panic. Denise isn't in any of the phone boxes. She's not at the train station. She's not in the streets. She's just vanished. It isn't long before Carmel's sinking feeling becomes something more concrete. It's time that the authorities need to get involved. 13-year-old Denise Gail McGregor is formally reported to Victoria Police as a missing person. Colleen, the oldest sister of the McGregor family, arrives home with her boyfriend Bruce. Once they learn what has happened, they return to the streets with Sharon to continue looking for Denise. Any irritation about Denise being late has been quickly swallowed by something closer to panic. It's now at desperation level. They search and search, but it's all fruitless, and they return home without any luck. The family now knew that she was not simply late. Something has happened. But where? And how can a person completely disappear within a few hundred metres of her home? Monday night's rain gives way to a cool Tuesday morning, and over 40 kilometres away on Merriang Road, Wallan East, a different kind of day is starting. Norman, a clerk of works for the Country Roads Board, is travelling along Merriang Road, having been assigned to photolog the route in preparation for upcoming resurfacing works of the nearby Hume Highway. Merriang Road is expected to take heavy truck traffic during construction, and its condition needs to be fully documented before that begins. Photologging is a relatively new method the Country Roads Board has adopted, using a vehicle-mounted film camera to create a continuous visual record of the road, used for planning, maintenance, scheduling and safety assessments. Along with work colleagues Jeff, Don and Ralph, the morning has been passing rather uneventfully. The only eventful moment so far was finding a discarded book about 11 kilometres back on the east side of the road. Norman had had a chuckle and carried on with the job. But now Norman has spied something a little unusual on the west side of the road. About 2 metres into the verge, off the road but clearly visible, is a shape that looks out of place. At first glance, it looks like a dummy discarded in the grass, lying face down barely 1.5 metres from the edge of the bitumen. He drives past, pulls up, and then reverses back. For the McGregor household, the night has given them no resolution, only silence. With Carmel, Colleen, Bruce, Sharon and the police all searching, no sighting of the teenager has been confirmed. It was meant to be another school term evening, but they all feel that something has gone horribly wrong. Yet the late morning has brought no relief. Silence and exhaustion fill the residence. She may have been a little rebellious. She may have been a little stubborn. But Denise was a typical 13-year-old schoolgirl, and leaving before even eating her dinner it wasn't Denise. She has now been gone for more than 16 hours. Norman gets out of the car to go investigate, and what he sees is no dummy. It is the body of a girl, a schoolgirl still in uniform, partially clothed, lying parallel to the road. Her uniform is dishevelled, her hands bound behind her back. He calls police. Sydney, a senior constable stationed at Wallan, is making his way to Merriang Road, Wallan East, after receiving information that a body has been found. He makes his way over to a crew from the Country Roads Board and converses with them about their finding before making his way over to the western shoulder of the roadway. Sure enough, a partly naked body of a girl is lying face down in the grass, and it appears her hands are tied behind her back. He radios Seymour CIB to attend the scene, and at 11:40 a.m, Douglas, a detective sergeant, arrives at the scene. Douglas has just seen what no one ever wants to see. A young girl in a grey school jumper, green and white checked skirt covering only the top of her body, hands tied behind her back, left on the side of the road. He has some further discussions with the members of the Country Roads Board who had discovered the girl, and then contacts the homicide squad and members of the forensic science laboratory team. Whilst liaising with Sydney and waiting for the homicide squad, enquiries are made at a nearby farmhouse, with nothing substantial received. Police now have an answer about the whereabouts of Denise McGregor. There are a multitude of questions that they need answers to, but for now, it's time to let the McGregor household know of the horrific news. Someone saw something. Someone knows something. They may not even realise it because what happened to Denise occurred within ordinary routines. Fragments of memory may exist unnoticed, unrecognised, and after nearly 5 decades, the truth is still out there waiting for someone to realise they may hold a piece of it. I'm going to go down and get the coke now. Those were among Denise McGregor's last words. Simple words on an ordinary Monday night that should have ended with her coming home to dinner. 47 years later, her family still don't know what happened in the minutes that followed. But someone does, and it's time. Join us for next week's episode that focuses on the investigation. We step through the investigation as it unfolded before later episodes return to what we can and can't see differently today. The McGregor family have been waiting for more than 47 years to find out who is responsible for the death of Denise. Is there any way you can help? If you have information that could assist police, please contact Victoria Police Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000 or submit a confidential report online at www.police.vic.gov.au/crime-stoppers. Some names and non-essential identifying details have been changed for privacy. All core events and timings are drawn from publicly available records, inquest materials, and contemporaneous reporting. Unsolved, unforgotten, unfinished.